This conference will now be recorded.
Under which location in IIS you are able to, you need to keep your files. Hmm? Router. Yeah, what is the drive? C drive, iNetPub, and root folder. By default, IIS web server runs on which port number? 80. What is site in IIS? Hmm? If you want to create a new site and where you can host your applications, like we will be having a pool. Inside the pool, we will be having a site. Can I run two applications on the same port number? You're saying no. Can you search for it? Can I host two applications on the same port number in IAS? Search for it. Okay. Search for the information. Okay. So till yesterday, what have we done? So we are able to install the web server on top of the Windows VM, and we are able to see how we can browse the application. Now we want to make deployments on top of that VM. How? Through CD pipelines. Through CD pipelines, we need to make the deployment. So first, let me log in into the portal. So first, let's see whether the VM is in on or stop. So confirm your email address. No. Virtual machines. Yeah, it is running. And how do you browse this? By taking the public IP, you can browse it. That's we already know it. There is already IAS installed on this machine. Now I want to make deployments onto this IAS web server. So starting from the release pipeline. So I was saying in the earlier, first we need to create a deployment group. A group will be contain more than one or more inside it, right? A group is nothing but it contains one or more inside it. What does it contain one or more? VMs. I need to make the deployment on the group level. So if there are n number of VMs inside it, everything is going to take that action and perform. So first, I want to create a deployment group. I'm going to create a deployment group right now. So under pipelines, you have the deployment group. So create a new deployment group. I want to make it something as new VMIAS. This is the group dev. If you want to provide any description, you can provide it. If not a new VM, I'll just keep it as dev deployment group. Create it and see what happens. And you need to see what. If you remember, when we are setting up the self-hosted agent, what have we done? We have taken an agent and installed on that VM. So what the agent is doing, it is always trying to listen the jobs. Okay. Like the same way, I want this VM to take the deployment from the pipeline. So that means what I'm trying to do here is I need to set up an agent. See, it is asking me what type of target you want to register. Is it a Windows VM or a Linux VM? It's a Windows VM. Registration script. It is a PowerShell script. So till this point, this is the sample PowerShell script that I need to run on that VM. Whatever the VM that I want to register, in that VM I need to execute this script. Use the personal access token. Why we are using personal access token? Authentication. To authenticate to that VM, we use personal access token. See, script for authentication. Copy the, see, once after using this, copy the script to the clipboard. Now I need to execute this complete script onto that VM, right? I need to do mst sc. So to do that, first I need to have the IP address. This is the IP address. SLAdmin is the username. Why we are not able to connect? How do you debug this? Why we are not able to connect? Now tell me. Yes, if you go to the network security group in the networking, you will see that RDP is there, but is it allowed or denied? Denied. Now I want to make it allow. So instead of deny, I need to keep it as allow. So once it is updated, then you will be able to connect to the VM. What is the RDP port number? HTTP? HTTPS? Okay. SSH? So connect. So just give it some time. You just allowed it, right? Yes, allowed. Yeah. Now it has taken. BF at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I want to. Okay. In this VM, where I need to execute the script, command line or PowerShell? Okay. So let's just minimize this, and we need to have PowerShell. And this is my local system. And in this PowerShell, right? I can take any of these, and I'm just right clicking on this and like this. Search for this PowerShell. You can do anything, but as of now, I'm just trying to write it here itself. PowerShell. This one, right? Right click on this, run as an administrator. Why I am running as an administrator? I don't want to fall into this permission issues. Okay. I open PowerShell. Now I need to copy the script, right? So the script is here. So copy the script to the clipboard and then execute the script here. Shift insert. If you are not able to paste it, then what is the next step? Open some notepad here and see whether it is copying or paste copying or not. We want to verify it, right? See, I'm doing the control V. I'm not able to get that here. So copy it again and go back to the VM. Now paste it. Yes, now it is there. Control A, Control C from here and execute the same thing here. Run it. You don't have to make any change. Simply run the script and see what happened. An agent is going to be running on that VM. Okay. Now that I have configured and it is still running, let's wait for it, what it shows. How I am saying that it is running? Yeah, because the cursor is still on the top. I didn't get that command to enter. Okay. While this is getting running and see the other options. In the details, I'm able to see the script and I have copied the script and executed on that VM. And once it is executed, it is going to connect, right? We can see it in the target. We can see that in the target. So here also, if you try to register, same script. So I have done directly from the details. Okay, and see this. Now I am able to see that VM Windows and just try to see it is showing as offline. Why? Just open this. It is asking me enter the deployment group tags for the agent. Do you want to enter any deployment group tags? As of now, I don't want to provide any tag. Yesterday, I have explained you why we use tags. Out of 100 VMs in the deployment group, I want to make deployment to only 30 VMs. So those 30 VMs are development environment. So how do you differentiate the 30 VMs based upon the tag? As of now, I'm not using any number of VMs. I'm just going with the no. Successfully added the agent and testing the agent connection. And enter enable service, see unrestricted for agent service. So press enter for no. I want to keep yes. Enter enable, yes, I want to enable. Enter the user account to use the service. Yes. Press enter for entering. Enter. Whatever it is asking, I am doing everything as enter and yes. Enter whether to prevent the starting service immediately after configuration is finished. No, no, no this. And see this. Service agent started successfully. Last option I gave N. The remaining everything I gave enter and yes. That's it. So it started successfully. Now go back to here and you can see this. One VM is there and the VM is in online. Okay, and you can see the health here. It is in healthy. Now to this VM, I want to make deployment. So first what I have done was I have added that VM to the deployment group target. That in the deployment group, we will be having targets. How many targets I have? Only one. That target is this VM. Okay, this is fine. Whatever the VM that I want to add, I added here. Now let's go to the release pipeline. So this is the yesterday. This is the one that yesterday I have created, right? Okay. So Windows IAS. From which pipeline you need to get this? So I want the pipeline to be something. Okay, let me just cancel and let me start it from the scratch. I want to remove this. How can you remove it? Simply delete it. So I need to add the artifact. The artifact is coming from which pipeline? Take any pipeline. For example, version 90 sample is there. Okay, ASP.NET CA is there, right? I'm going to take this. It is going to take the latest build. Okay, add this. And we have one stage. In that one stage, see this. Yesterday I created, okay, let me create it from the scratch for you because you will be having a better idea why to make the changes from yesterday. New release pipeline and I'm going with the empty job. I need to add the artifact. The artifact should be coming from the ASP.NET CI and add it. And we have a stage here. In the stage, one job and zero tasks are there. Let's go here. It is an agent job. But are we performing agent job? No, we are performing deployment group job. So remove this. I don't want to use the agent job. I want to use deployment group job. Agent job is different and deployment group job is different. So just add the deployment group job. Now inside this, it is going to ask me what is the deployment group name? This one, right? Yes. Do you want to use any tag? No, I don't want to use any tag. And see this job cancel timeout and all these are very basic things. This is fine. As of now, what I'm specifying is go to this deployment group. That's it. What task it needs to perform that I need to add. So add it. The task name is IAS. First IAS web app manage. Second one is IAS web app deploy. Okay. In the deployment group, perform these two tasks. Okay. First IAS website manage. Now create or update action is fine. What is the website name? Now go back to the IAS. Why it is lost? Somebody might have logged into that. If another user tries to log in, automatically my session will be terminated. Is anyone deleting it? No. Still it is running. Okay. Okay. Why we are not able to? So go to networking concept and see RDP. Everything is allowed. HTTP is allowed. RDP is allowed. Okay. Looks like there is a network glitch. So let's try to reconnect. What is the problem? Suddenly, why it behind this? So the VM is in running status only, and yes, this is fine. Just refresh the data. Okay. Anyhow, I'll try to connect from this RDP also. This is also fine, right? Suggested method for connecting. Yes, I want to connect. Is there any network issue? No. Let's see whether the VM is offline or online. That is also we can check, right? Go to deployment groups. See one offline. So that means the VM went into offline. Why? Who is making the changes? This account is used by multiple persons. Let me just restart the VM. If it is getting success, that's fine. And now I just restarted, right? What is the IP before restart? 188. So let's see. Once after the restart, what happens? Whether the IP will change or not change. What do you guys think? Okay. Now tell me the difference between static and dynamic. Static means fixed. Dynamic means changing. Now I have allocated this IP to this VM, right? Just go to that IP and see the status. It is static. Now it is going to be changed or it will be constant, right? Static means fixed. Dynamic means changing. Now the IP will never change. Okay. So you have covered one more point while this VM is getting restarted. Okay, while this is getting restarted, we'll see some other things. So, can I make this IP to be dynamic? Can I make this IP to be dynamic? Yes, you can make it if you want to. How? Go to the configuration part and you need to change this from the static to the dynamic. That you can make it, not a problem. So I don't want to change it right now because it is getting restarted. Okay. So now the VM is restarted. So let's try connecting to the VM. We already have downloaded the RDP file, right? We will open that itself. So go to downloads. This is the VM. Now it is. We are not sure what was the exact problem. Sometimes it happens like this. If you still want to find out what was the problem, then you need to look for the logs of that VM. How can we see the logs? Who is doing what? I'll tell you. So let's just keep that aside. This is the VM, right? So let's go to the activity log. Who is the making the changes and what changes they are making? Here you are able to see all these things. For the last 3 minutes, I restarted it. So if you want to see all time data, you can keep it for last 1 week also. You can keep for last 1 week and see this. 24 hours ago we made this and health event update has been happened on 1 day ago. That's fine. I think it is a problem from the Azure side itself. It is not a problem from our side. It is a problem from Azure side itself. Now the VM is up and running, right? Now go back to here and verify whether it is an online or offline still. Still it is in offline. So just go to refresh and this. Still it is in offline. Then what we need to make? Okay, let me just show you this. Earlier we have installed an agent or not. We will see whether that agent is up and running or not. Then only we can confirm. So in this VM, go to where? Hmm? PowerShell not. Yes, services. Server manager not services. Agent is a service that is running on the VM, right? Okay. Now see this. The name will start with somewhere around agent. So here we need to find that agent name. Azure pipeline agent. This is what Azure pipeline agent. That means, okay, let's see. And also you can see that it is running. That's fine. And apart from this, do we have any other tags for this? No. So whatever you want to search it with Azure, just type Azure. So Azure pipeline agent, yeah, it is running. Now let's go back to here and see this. I just checked it. It took some time to start the service. Okay, now it is healthy. No problem in that. Okay, so this is fine. Go to tools, IAS manager. I just want to open IAS manager, and this is the Windows. If you go to sites, under site, what is the default website? So I have two sites. In that I want to make deployments to demo site. So what is the name of it? Demo. So just come back here, go to the pipeline, and what is the website name it is asking, right? Keep it as demo. Okay. What was the physical path? Yes. Under this inet pub www root, make the deployment. Okay. And what was the physical path authentication? How do you want to authenticate? Do you want to authenticate with Windows authentication or application user? As of now, just try to go for application user. Do you want to add any port bindings? If you want to add the port number, you can add the port number. By default, I already have mentioned that 81 right there. That's fine. Till this point, this step is fine. Now deploy IIS website. What is the website name? Demo. Virtual application series. Specify the name of an already existing virtual application on the target machine. Virtual application, we are not doing any, so just keep it as it is. What kind of a package or a folder that you want to deploy? It is looking for .zip package. So I'm not sure whether we have the .zip or not. So I'm just removing that extension. Okay. So whatever that is there in the system.default directory, inside that any folder it might be. So whatever that is there, just deploy all that. If you want to specify any parameters, you can specify the parameter, but just go with the basic things as of now. I haven't changed any details. If you go to the IAS Manager website, I just created the website name, and here I just provided the website name and the path for it. That's it. Now just save this, and I want this to run. Create, and then I want to create this. What is the version? What did we mention anything in this? What is happening here? The pipeline. I think for this pipeline we set some demands. That's why it is going into problems. Let me just go through one pipeline. See why it hasn't taken the latest one, because it's an error. Okay, let me take the Deloitte CI and let's see what will be the output. Here I will be using one published artifact, right? No, for this there is no published artifact, so that I cannot publish anything. I'll take one version 80 sample is there. In that, let's see whether we have any published. Yes, one published artifact is there. This artifact I can post it there. So draft folder, inside the test folder we have version 80 HTML readme.md. Okay, this is the output that I want to deploy it on top of the IAS web server. So what is the pipeline name? Version 80 sample. So remove this. I don't want this, right? Just remove it. I want to deploy the artifact that is generated from version 80 sample. Okay, and add this. Now this is fine, right? Whatever the output that we get from here, deploy it on top of this. Save, create the release. See, now I am able to do it, right? So see the release. Now you will be having a doubt. Nowhere we have provided the username and password for the VM, but how it is getting authenticated? How? When you are setting up the, when you are trying to set up the target, what it has done has, like, one second. Hello? Yeah. Hello? Yeah. So we were discussing about how it is going to authenticate. So my package is at Azure DevOps. My VM is at Azure side. First, what I have done was I have set up that agent to sit inside that VM. How this pipeline is authenticating that VM? Because of the PAT token. So if you remember, when we are trying to set up the target, we clicked on use personal access token to authenticate. Understood? Okay, let me show you. If you go to deployment group jobs, in this group job, I want to register a new target. See this. This is the script, right? In this script, we provided this personal access token. Based on this authentication token only, it is trying to deploy it to the VM. Why it is not asking any username and password? Because the pipeline agent is sitting in that VM already. So that's why it is not asking any username and password. Okay, fine. So this release is in progress. Let's see. And there is one target. So click on this logs. And it is still in progress. Let's wait for it. See what it is showing? The job has not yet started. So the job itself is not started. Why? We need to debug that. So go to the release pipeline and I want to edit this pipeline. Release, and this is the release pipeline, and see this 11.4, right? It shows that it is succeeded. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it succeeded at 11.6. Now the time is 11.7. So I think some lag. That's it. So it is completed. And go to logs. You will be able to see that it has downloaded the artifact and managed the website and deployed the AS website. How can you confirm that the deployment is done? We need to go to the VM, and where we need to check C drive, inetpub. This is where you need to check. Go to root and see version 80.sample. We're able to see this drop folder, S folder, and we're able to see that this is how you can make your website, like, package to be deployed on top of the VMs. This is a old process. App services is the new process that everybody is utilizing. Which one will be easy for you? App service. You simply just need to create it and utilize it. That's it. But here you need to install the web server and then you need to add it as a target and then you need to deploy it. Understood? So in majority of the companies, still they are following this. You might be getting a chance to work on these also. So that's why we are discussing about the IAS also. Okay. If it is not a Windows VM, if it is a Linux VM, then how can you make the deployment? That is also one more point, right? So if it is a Linux VM, I want to install Apache Tomcat or Nginx as a web server. Let's take Nginx. First we need to install what? Nginx on the web server. And we need to find out in which location we will be having the .html file. Okay. So let's try to create a new VM using, yes, I want to create a new virtual machine. This time I'm going to create a virtual machine with Ubuntu operating system. So, and which one I'm doing earlier. So if you want to find it, go to the VM and you can see RGVM. Okay. RGVM and VM Ubuntu. Best US 3, no infrastructure, standard. Instead of Windows, I'm going to take Ubuntu and 1B CPU, 3.5 GB RAM. How do you want to authenticate to this VM? Password based. SA admin India at 12345 6. Same process. And once it is done, see the port numbers. By default, any web server runs on which port number? 80. So I just want to allow that port 80 and create it. Once it is created, how do you log in into that Ubuntu VMs? Once it is created, how you need to log in into that VM, right? By using RTP, is it possible? Through putty, you need to log in and see the Ubuntu is going to cost you less when compared with the Windows. For costing wise, Ubuntu or Linux machines are going to take a very less cost. Okay, so while this is getting created, meanwhile I'll open putty, and this is going to be a homework for you. I have shown you how to make deployment to Windows, and I will show you how to create a VM and how to connect to the VM and in which location we will be having that HTML file. And I want you to create a release pipeline to make deployment to the Linux machine. In Linux machine also there will be one directory, right? Like CNET, zip drive, inet, pub, root, something. But in Linux it will be different directory. I want you to make deployments to that. So you try for it. 100% you are not going to achieve it. I know that, but try for it. See, when you spend some time on investigating the things, you will come to know about a lot of things. Here you are able to see LTS, right? What is LTS? So in your Windows operating system or something, you will be seeing R1, R2, LTS. LTS stands for long-term support. So for this operating system, there is a long-term support. Okay, that's fine. So this VM is created. Let me navigate into the VM and let's just refresh. VM Ubuntu is there. I need to connect to this by using the public IP. Copy, open, login as admin. Admin is the username. Password will be India at 12345 6. It is logged in. You can see the username at the VM name. Okay. Now clear everything. I just want to expand this by going into the settings. Where is the settings? Yes. So appearance, and I want to change the font to something bold and 14. That's fine. Yeah. Now do the ls here. No files. PWD. You are in home SA admin. Okay. I want to register this agent as a target to where, to my pipe deployment group job, so that I can make deployments to this. First, I logged into this VM and I'm able to see. I need to install a web server on it, right? Which operating system it is? Ubuntu. How to install Nginx? Nginx is a web server. Install Engine. So why I'm doing all these things first? You will know how to install it on Ubuntu. Install Nginx on Ubuntu. How to install Nginx on Ubuntu? Yes. See the see the things. Sudo means super user. Sudo means super user does. Apt is a package. For Windows, there will be a package manager, right? For the Ubuntu machines, there is also a package manager called apt. I just want to update that. Okay. And I want to install Nginx. Okay. So why we are using sudo? So if you remember, in your local system also, there are two users: current user, local user, and administrator user. Administrator user will be able to do everything, right? If you want to update some packages, you are not admin user, still you want to run that command, then you need to pass sudo. So this gives the admin privileges to run this command. Okay. So as per the document, sudo apt update, this is going to update the package. See this. If I do not keep sudo, see what is the issue that I am going to get. Apt update, right? Permissions denied. So I don't have access. Anyhow, I want to run this. If I want to run anyhow, I want to run it using administrative privileges. Sudo apt update. Now you understood what is the use of sudo? Okay. First, it is getting updated, and once it is done, if you want to clear the screen, do clear clear. What is the next thing that I want to do? I want to install engine X. Directly, if you try to do, it is not going to be installed. So I want to run it with sudo. If I'm trying to install, it is going to ask me a question, right? Do you want to install it or not? Yes, right? Directly, I want to say it as yes. So it won't ask me yes or no questions. And see this. Install Nginx. Just keep it like this. Sudo install Nginx. What is happening? Missing destination file operand after Nginx. Sudo apt install Nginx. Now it is trying to. It is asking me yes. You need to keep apt. I forgot apt. So yes, if it does, if you don't want to, if you don't want to keep yes or no, simply keep hyphen y. That is going to take it as by default yes. That hyphen y is called as a flag. Okay, so it is installed. Now you have a question: under which directory it is installed and how I can see the .html file? That is a question, right? Now go to the documentation. First, you install the Nginx, and after that, it is giving you to adjust the firewalls. Not required. Firewall is not required for us. Forget about this. Status. Check your web browser. Systemctl status Nginx. They are trying to see the status of the Nginx. So it is going to show you if it is running. It will show it is running. I don't want you to check this. Simply, anyhow, it is installed, right? How can you access it? Take this public IP and browse it here. Welcome to Nginx. That means it is installed, right? We are able to get this page, right? That means there is some .html file somewhere in the background. Where it is? So if you go down, you are able to see that in the where slash var slash www and your domain slash html. Go to your putty and see this. Just go one step back. Right now I'm in the home directory. Do ls here. So let's go one step back again. I am under the root. If slash is there, that means it is on the top directory, root directory. Do ls here. See, I have all this. What is the location that they have told me? Where, right? VAR. I have it here. CD space var. Do ls here. And then www. CD space www. I have kept four W's. Inside that HTML. Yes, CD space HTML. Now do the ls here. Index.nginx-debian.html. This is the file. Now I want to edit some information. vi space index.debian.html. Edit it. So this is the title and this is the header H stands for. I want to insert some data. So I am going to change it as welcome. Just save this. Now this is where the problem comes. See this. I just edited it. I am doing the colon W2. That means save and quit. Read only option is set. Add this to override. Okay. WQ this. We cannot open file for writing. Plus enter type a command to continue. So what is the problem actually? First when I tried to do the WQ, it showed me no purpose. We cannot. It is only read only file. Okay. Now what I want to do is I cannot write whatever I want to do. If I do WQ, see it is just read only. I cannot write anything. So I'll just go back. First I want to find out what kind of file it is and what are the permissions that we have in this file. ls is going to list out the files, but if you give len, it is going to list out the file along with the permissions. See the permissions here: read, write, read. So that means clearly I can say that I am having only read permission. I want to give the full permissions: read, write, execute. To give the permissions, you need to do chmod. Okay, keep 777. Why 777 is required? I'll tell you later. You know already. Okay. Chmod 777. What is the file name? Index. This is the file name, right? For this file name, for this file, I want to give read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. And see, permissions is not permitted because I'm trying to run this as a normal user. If you want to run it as an administrator, sudo. See, now it changed or not? Do the ls hyphen la. See, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Now, if I want to edit that file, I can edit, right? Vi space index.html. Now go to insert and I'm going to remove this and keep it as DevOps wq. Now it allowed me, right? I have changed the original code file. Now I will be able to get the same thing here, right? Okay. Now what is the location that we need to make the deployment now? Slash var slash ww slash html. So that is the location. Now we need to make the deployments from release pipeline. Okay, I will give you the hint also. First you need to add that machine here, and then once it is added, go to the release pipeline. In the release pipeline, go click on edit. Is it a Windows machine? No. Whether these steps are going to work on that? No. So remove these two steps. Now deployment group is fine. In the deployment group, I want to add a task. Now what is the task that I need to add? Nginx. Nginx is not there. Yeah? Ubuntu, huh? Ubuntu also not there. Yeah. You need to use bash. Run a bash script on Mac OS, Linux or Windows. You need to run the command script to make deployments to that machine. So go through some document and try to achieve this. Forget about what the script is doing. Modify according to yours and try to make deployment. Okay. Till this point, any doubt? See, I want you to search for this information. Even I'll give you IAS deployment using release pipeline. If I go through this, Microsoft itself is giving me this deploy apps to IAS on Windows VM. Okay, just open this. On the left side itself, you will be fine. If I want to deploy to VMs, to Linux VMs, this one. See this. If it is a Linux, see the scripting. So I have to get installed. They are trying to install what? Like some web server, different web server. Create the release pipeline and see this. Add a deployment group job. And once after adding, they are keeping the deployment group as Nginx. They are trying to use the bash, and within the bash, see, you need to have some script, right? That script file should be available in the repos. You need to select that deploy.sh, and then you will be able to deploy it. What is available in the deploy.sh is a different concept. So just try to deploy it. Okay. So first in the code you need to have the deploy.sh. So try spending some time on how to get the deploy.sh file and try to make deployments to the Linux VM. Okay. Till this point, any doubts?